Hello everyone, Anthony Fasano, your engineering career coach, engineeringcareercoach.com, where you can find all of my podcasts where I actually help real live engineers right on the podcast to overcome their challenges and achieve their goals. Check it out on iTunes if you'd like to subscribe. It's the Engineering Career Coach podcast. I'm also the founder of the Institute for Engineering Career Development, a mastermind community for motivated engineers, which you can learn more about at engineeringcareerdevelopment.com. In this tutorial, I'm going to talk to you about probably the most important thing that you can do in your engineering career, and that's networking. Building that professional network of relationships that can yield big opportunities for you in your engineering career. So many engineers tell me I'm not good at networking, I'm an introvert, like most engineers. Forget about that. Forget about that. You can develop your networking skills. I was awful at networking when I started my engineering career, but I became a power networker. And that's how I became a partner at a company when I was 27 years old, because of relationships and the opportunities that I was able to bring in for my company. And in this tutorial, I'm going to give you the steps so that you can start. In Chapter 5 of my book, Engineer Your Own Success, I go into a lot of detail in networking, right down to what you should say in the conversations. But the steps in this tutorial will get you going. You'll be able to watch this video and then start networking and start to build that network, because you don't know when you're going to need to lean on it. So please dive into this tutorial and let's start building those relationships and bringing you more opportunities in your engineering career.
I like to think of networking, keep it very simple. It's building relationships. That's what networking is. That's what it should be. Many engineers think of networking as collecting business cards, meaning that they go to an event, they collect a bunch of business cards, they put the business cards on their desk, and they think that they've done their networking for the month. Okay, that is not networking. That is step one of networking. Then you actually have to build a relationship. The next few slides, we're going to go over why networking is so important, how you can network effectively, and with who and where. So why is networking so important? I mean, there's lots of reasons that it's important, and I'm sure every person that listened to this webinar, I'm sure out of every 10 people, at least 8 or 9 of them have gotten a job once in their career through someone that they've known, right? Because your network is so important to you. Your network builds or creates and yields opportunities for you in your career. So let's talk a little bit more about this. I think one of the main reasons that networking is important is because that's what our whole life is about. If you think of networking as building relationships, how could it not be critical? All we do is we're in relationships everywhere we go, at work, at home, at school, whatever the case may be. So it's absolutely important. The other thing about relationships is that it makes your career more enjoyable. You know what I mean? I mean, it's just, who wants to go through their career every day and not have fun? The way to have fun is to meet people, get to know them, build up friendships in your industry. Building relationships really is the key to career success, and the reason is because it does yield opportunities. It brings you opportunities, whether it's new jobs, new clients, new school projects, anything. They all come through relationships most of the time. But here's the key. They come from good, solid, strong relationships. That's where the opportunities come from. They don't come from a stack of business cards sitting on your desk. And that's what we all have to understand. Networking is also a form of advertising your employer and yourself. If you want to be known in an industry, get out there, meet people, go to meetings, go to happy hours, go to social events. That's how networking can really work for you. And also your employer is going to get known from that too. And that's going to look good on your employer and yourself. I talk to a lot of CEOs, and the one thing they tell me when I ask them what they're looking for in engineers these days is they always tell me that they're looking for an engineer that can do everything from engineering to selling and bringing in business. And bringing in business is really actually a huge one. That's the one thing that they always tell me. If you can bring in business, then you're very important. All right, let's talk a little bit about how you can network effectively. I always like to tell engineers to focus on building personal relationships or friendships. I mean, really, if you want to get to know people, get to know them. Take the time to get to know their families, their interests, their hobbies. That's how you connect with people. And that's one of the main reasons I created the Institute for Engineering Career Development. It's because I wanted to bring motivated engineers together and give them a support network, a community, right? Again, for support and to help you enjoy your career more, right? Don't just say, what kind of engineering do you do? I do this, you do that. No, talk to people. People generally give business to people that are, one, good at what they do, and two, they're comfortable with, right? It makes sense. And I'll give you an example. There was an architect when I was doing design engineering as a civil engineer. There was an architect we used to do a lot of work with, and he did green design in schools. So whenever I happen to come upon an article about school design or green infrastructure that I thought might be interesting to him, I would send him an email and I'd say, "Hey, Mike, I hope you're doing well. I found this article and I thought it might be of interest to you." I was being a resource. That's what it's all about, being a resource to people. And I didn't email them and say, "Hey, you have any work for us?" No, I was a resource. And odds are, many times that they got a call for a project, they would contact us to do the engineering because we kept in touch with them, because they liked us, because we were friendly. Don't just try to sell yourself. That's the worst way to sell. I see students all the time going up to engineers at career fairs or at professional luncheons and just handing a resume to them. Don't just hand them a resume. Ask them about their company. Ask them about their goals. Ask them about what they need. That's how you forge a connection with people. All right. So with who and where can you network? Professional societies is a big one. That's obviously something you should definitely do and get out there, get to luncheons. Community, though, in general, networking groups are also very important. If you're an engineer, I mean, getting involved in the community is great. Like joining a Rotary Club or a business referral group. I joined a business referral group when I was an engineer, and we got some great leads and I made some great friendships through it. And it was just something that engineers typically wouldn't do. But again, I wanted to be different, and that's why I became a partner when I was so young, because I thought differently. You can network everywhere. If networking is building relationships, you are constantly doing it. And please don't forget that. I always tell engineers that developing your contact list is directly related to developing your engineering career as long as they're good, strong relationships.